Before you get out the clay, you need to prep your acrylic tools with CoolSlip or something similar. A lot of people ask me why this is so important, so let me show you. This is what we're trying to avoid. If you do put too much on your tool, and you can see this one spray delivers just so much product, wipe with your fingers or a rag until just a thin, almost invisible film is left. Play around with it and you'll get a feel for the right amount. Once treated, I find the tools won't need to be treated again for several weeks. We're going to talk about these 6 different kinds of finishing techniques: brass brush, rotary tumbler, agate burnisher, sanding pads, rotary polishing tool and assorted bits to go with it, and liver of sulfur. Silver can have that shiny finish that we know and love, or we can darken it, which can make it look entirely different in a wonderful way. Now we're going to talk about what that means. Liver of sulfur is my preferred product for this, and the patina gel is my favorite form to use. Generally, I use this to darken the whole piece, and then remove the patina from the high areas, creating a contrast between dark and light, which makes the details and the textures very visible. It's also a serious chemical, so pause to read info about safety and best practices, and also read the safety data sheet that comes with the product when you purchase it. This is my basic setup. I work outside year-round for ventilation. If you have ventilation in your studio, that works too. I'm going to review each of these components, and then we're going to go through the sulfuring process. Liver of sulfur comes in different forms. I prefer the gel as it's pre-mixed and shelf-stable. I heat the water in a microwave to just under boiling and then bring it outside. We do not use boiling water for this. I use the least amount of water that I can that fully covers the jewelry, so about an inch. This is the baking soda and water neutralizing bath that ends the chemical reaction. The ratio is 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda per cup. These locking plastic tweezers are great for lifting silver out of the patina bath. We don't want to be putting our fingers in there. And finally, in the back, I have a soft cloth that I use for laying out my jewelry when I'm done with this process. Let's talk about the silver. Silver must be clean in order to take an even patina. Clean can mean either by dish soap, well rinsed, ammonia, or straight from the kiln. I don't find that the oil on my fingers interferes with this patina process, but if you do, you can use tweezers to drop them into the solution. I'm going to add 6 or 7 drops of gel, and then swirl to mix it up. You can always add a few more drops to speed up the process. And then in goes the silver. It will quickly begin to pass through the colors: yellow, pink, purple, blue. There are 3 primary factors that will affect the speed of this process: the temperature of the water, temperature of the silver when it goes into the solution, and quantity of sulfur in the mix. We'll come back to talking about how to stop on those colors, but right now I am aiming for this soft, traditional gray. And this can happen in 2 to 20 minutes, depending on those 3 factors. A longer soak leads to a darker gray. While my silver finish is soaking there, I will mix up a neutralizing bath. I have a half cup of cool water here, so I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm an estimator, which is fine as long as it's at least a teaspoon. More is okay too, and then stir well to dissolve. Each solution has a dedicated stir stick. We don't use one for both. And now I can begin to transfer my silver to the baking soda solution, where the chemical process will stop, making it safe to touch and safe to wear. It should sit in here for at least 5 minutes. And there's that soft gray finish, ready for the next steps inside. Patina gel is reportedly safe for cubic zirconia and lab-grown gems. I have always found this to be true, but it is also wise for us to spot check our own supplies. Here I'm going to show you two things to look out for when using liver of sulfur. Sometimes from the front, the patina process will seem to be finished, but if we check the other side, we will find that because it was sitting on the bottom of the container, the process is incomplete. So return it facing the other direction. And this is an example of the inconsistent finish that you might see if your silver isn't clean when it goes into the sulfur solution. We can see that some areas haven't darkened in the same way as other areas. In this case, I would wash it well and repeat the sulfuring process. We are now going to remove the patina from the raised areas of our silver. There are a few ways we can do this. First, you can use your preferred sanding pad or sanding paper. This is actually removing a very thin top layer of silver, so I want to go gently to remove just what's necessary for the result I want. How much you remove can depend on the look you're going for. Removing just a little, so keeping the piece fairly dark, can be moody and evocative. Removing most of the patina allows for the bright, shiny finish that silver is known for. Remember how we made these lines using the sanding pad? Now we're revealing them, which is a really exciting part of the process. You can see that even though they were subtle and seemed like they wouldn't be too impactful when we made them, they definitely show up in the silver.